Hello and welcome back to Miss Riley's Maths videos. This is a maths video for my Form 1 class. If you haven't seen the sheet and you're using this for revision, you can look at the questions here. You can pause and try all these questions, and then you'll be able to look through the solutions and see what you did well. Okay, so that's the questions, and I'm going to get going now. So start off with Monday. And there's a bit of algebra on this sheet and there's a bit of percentages, so hopefully they will be useful for you. So simplify 7x plus 3y minus 10x plus 4y minus 9. So the things that go together are the x's. Remember, when we're simplifying in algebra, we're tidying up and putting things together that go together. So the things that go together are the x's. 7x minus 10x is minus 3x. 3y plus 4y, they're the same, they go together, plus 7y and minus 9. And remember, when we add in algebra, the powers don't change. Powers stay the same when we add. Okay? Simplify here means multiply out the bracket. So 4 by 3a is 12a. That 4 has to multiply by everything in the bracket. 4 by 2t is 8t, and 4 by minus 1 is minus 4. Everything in the bracket multiplies by what's outside. You can't put any of those together because they're all different things. Right, 40% is a fraction and as a decimal. So 40% is 40 over 100, which simplifies down to 4 over 10, which simplifies down to 2 over 5. And 40 over 100, or 40%, is 0.4. 40%, you see, is 40 over 100, which means divide by 100. When we divide 40 by 100, we start here, we go 2 spaces to the left, so it's 0.4. Okay. Right, 0.85% is a fraction. 0.85%, sorry, as a percentage and as a fraction, multiply by 100 to write it as a percentage, so 85%. 0.85 is 85 over 100. Which will simplify if I divide above and below by 5 is 17/20. Always remember to simplify. Annabelle has 45 cupcakes to sell at the school fair. If she sells 60% of the cupcakes at junior break, how many cupcakes are left to sell at senior break? So we can do this one of two ways. We can either find 60% of 45, and we can use our calculator for that. And 60% of 45, I don't have a calculator here. Let's get that out. 60% of 45. Oh, how do I do that in my calculator? I do 60. I can either do 60 divided by 100 multiplied by 45, which equals 27. Or I could do 0.6 times 45, which would also be 27. Okay, so 27 cupcakes sold at junior break. So then what's left is 45 minus 27, which is 18 cupcakes left to sell. Okay, the other way I could have done it is to say, well, she's going to have 40% left to sell at junior break or senior break. So 40% of 45 would be 18 cupcakes. And of course, I got 40% because she had 100% and she sold 60%. So now she has 40%. Okay. Simplify by multiplying out the brackets and tidying up. So 5 by a is 5a. And 5 by 1 is 5. Minus 4 by 2a is minus 8a. And minus 4 by 2 is minus 8. So these guys go together. 5a subtract 8a is minus 3a. And 5 subtract 8 is minus 3. Solve this equation to find the value of x. So remember, we're trying to get x on one side and numbers on the other. So let's see, let's get rid of our numbers here. That minus 3 we don't want there, that'll cancel. So we've got to add 3 to the other side as well, that'll give me 9. So I have 5x is equal to 2x plus 9. And that 2x I really don't want there, so I subtract 2x from both sides and they cancel. I'm just left with 9 here and I'm left with 5x minus 2x is 3x there. 3x is equal to 9. Divide both sides by 3, and x is equal to 3. Okay, let's do the next stage. Simplify by multiplying out the brackets and tidying up. Okay, so again, everything inside the bracket has to be multiplied by what's outside. So 3x by x is 3x squared. 3x by minus 1 is minus 3x. 2x by 4x is 8x squared. And 2x by minus 2 is minus 4x. Okay, so 3x by x is 3x squared. So that's the first time where we've seen on this sheet where the power is increased. If you multiply x by x, you get x squared. Okay. Now this guy and this guy are the same, so that's 11x squared. 3x and 8x squared is 11x squared. And this guy and this guy are the same. Minus 3x minus 4x is minus 7x. And that's my answer. They cannot be added together because one is an x squared and one is an x. Well, the factor pairs of 32. So 32, we have 1 and 32. We have 2 and 16. And we have 4 and 8. Okay. Solve the following equation to find the value of x. So I'm going to multiply the bracket first. 2x and 2 by 3 is 6 is equal to 3x plus 1. Now this time the bigger number of positive x's are on the right hand side. So I'm going to get x on this side and numbers on the other. Now it doesn't matter which side I do which, but it just means that it might be a bit easier at the end. So that negative 1 is in the wrong place. So I've got 2x plus 5 is equal to 3x. And then I'm subtracting that 2x from both sides. So I've got 5 is equal to x. And that's my answer. Otherwise, you might have ended up with minus x is equal to minus 5. That's fine. Just remember then, you're going to either have to switch sides, you could call it that, or multiply or divide by negative 1 to change the signs all across. Now, loads of trouble with this. What this question is saying, 10x by x to the power of 4 by x squared by 5x. Those little dots there mean multiply. Okay, so when we multiply this, we deal with the numbers, what I call the big numbers first. So 10 by 5 is 50. Then I multiply the x's together. So I have x by x to the power of 4 by x to the power of 2 by x. And when we multiply, we add the powers. Okay, so x by x to the power of 4 is x to the power of 5. So even though there's no little 1 written in there, we can understand that there is a 1 there. So x to the power of 1 by x to the power of 4 is x to the power of 5. X to the power of 5 by x to the power of 2 is x to the power of 7. And x to the power of 7 by x to the power of 1 is x to the power of 8. Okay, because what I really have there is, look, x to the power of 1 is x, multiplied by x to the power of 4 is x by x by x by x. X squared is x by x, and x to the power of 1 is x. So this is x to the power of 4, this is x squared, and this is x. So I've got x to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, x to the power of 8. Okay. So this is my answer. 50 x to the power of 8. Find the LCM, the lowest common multiple of 4, 5, and 6. So one way of doing this is to find them as the product of prime factors. So if I've got 4, if 2 goes into 4 twice, and 2 goes into 2 once. So 4 can be written as 2 by 2. 5 can be written as, or just 5, I think. 5 can just be written as 5. And 6 can be written as 2 goes into 6 3 times, 3 goes into 3 once. So 6 can be written as 2 times 3. And then what I do is I make sure I have all of these included in my answer. So the LCM is going to be 2 by 2 by 5. Now, I've already got a 2 here, so I just need a 3. Okay, so there's 2 by 3, that's there. That's 2 by 2, that's there. And that's 5, that's there. So I've got 2 by 2 is 4, by 5 is 20, by 3 is 60. So the LCM is 60. The other way to do it is to list out the factors. Now, if you're listing out the factors, the multiples, beg your pardon, I suggest you start with the biggest number and list those multiples. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60, 66. Now, at some stage, you'll realize, well, fives can only go into the 30s. So does 4 go into 30? No, it doesn't. 5 goes into 60. That's good because it's got a 0. Does 4 go into 60? Yes, it does 15 times. So 60 is going to be my LCM. Okay, so that's another way of doing it, but always start with the bigger number, listing your multiples, okay? James scores 18 marks out of a total of 25 marks in a history test. So he got 18, he could have got 25. What percentage did he get multiplied by 100? And that turns out to be 72%. Okay, 18 over 25 times 100. Jasper buys a phone for €80, so the cost is €80. There's a profit of 20%. So how much did Mr. Prodgers pay when he bought it? So Mr. Prodgers then bought it. Okay, we want to know how much he paid. So two different ways. We could find 20% of 80. 20% of 80 is 16. And then we could add it on. So Mr. Prodgers paid €96. Or if you wanted to, you could say, well, Jasper paid 100%. And then there was a profit of 20%. And Mr. Prodgers paid 120%. So you could find 120% of 80. 120 over 100 times 80, and it'll still be 96. It's just a different way of going about it. Find the value of 4c plus 2x minus 3xc. So c is minus 10 and x is 4. 4c means 4 times c, 2x means 2 times x, and 3xc means 3 times x times c. So 4 bracket minus 10 means 4 times minus 10. Okay, 4 times minus 10 is minus 40, plus 8. Minus 3 by 4 is minus 12. Minus 12 by minus 10 is plus 120. So we've got 128 minus 40 equals 88. Now, if you have to, you can use your calculator here. But I would prefer, if you don't need to, if your mental arithmetic is good, I prefer you to try and work it out yourself. Okay? Okay, the last day. Here we've got Thursday. Simplify. Now, this is getting a bit nastier. So I'm going to multiply 3b by 4b squared. Will give me 12b cubed. 3b by minus 5b is minus 15b squared. 2 by 4b is 8b. And 2 by 1 is 2. We go through that again. 3 by 4 is 12, and b by b squared, I'm going to add the powers 1 and 2 is 3. 3b by minus 5b, 3 by 5 is 15, b by b is b squared, and that's a plus by a minus, so it's a minus. Plus 2 by 4 is 8b, there's nothing else to multiply there, and 2 by 1 is 2. And nothing here can go together. This is a b cubed. It's different to a b squared, it's different to a b, it's different to 2. Okay, square root of 27 on your calculator is 5.196. 5.196152423. Okay, let's try and give that corrected 3 decimal places. So 1, that doesn't count. 1, 2, 3. 3 decimal places is 196. I lose the 1, and that doesn't change the 6. Corrected 2 significant figures means starting from the left, I've got 2 numbers. So 5.196, I'm going to keep the 5. I'm going to keep the 1, but it's going to be changed because I'm losing the 9. So it's 5.2. to two significant figures. In a basketball match, Wayne scores 18 points out of the total of 40 points. 18 out of 40 times 100. 18 out of 40. And then to make it into a percentage, times 100. 18 divided by 40 times 100 equals 45. Now, just for those of you that like to keep practicing your skills, if I had 18 out of 40 times 100, I think what I would do is I would cancel that 0 and that 0. I'd say 2 goes into 4 twice, 2 goes into 18 9 times, 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 10 5 times. And that's 45%. So if you can, please practice that kind of cancelling. It's good for you long term in terms of algebra and harder maths that we'll come up against later on. 30% of a number is 15. Find the number. So we have this number. There's the whole of the number. That's 100%. We have 30% of it, which is about here. And we know that that's 15. And we've got to find out the rest of it so we can find out the whole number. If 30% is 15, then I could find 10% would be 5, and then find 100%, which would be 50. That's one way of doing it. Okay. I prefer to do 30% is 15. I prefer to find 1% because I'll always be able to find 1% by dividing by this number here. So 15 divided by 30 is 0.5, and then find 100%. So 100% is 50. So the number is 50. We're nearly there now. Okay, solve the following equation to find the value of a. Make sure to show your method. So 5a minus 6, nothing's happening there, but I've got to multiply 2 by a to get 2a, and 2 by 3 to get 6. Now I'm going to get my a's on one side and my numbers on the other. So I'm going to subtract 2a, subtract 2a. So 3a minus 6 is equal to 6. And I'm going to add 6, 3a equals 12. Divide by 3, a equals 4. Increase 24 by 15%. That means we have 24. And then we're adding on 15%. So our new thing is going to be 115%. We need to find out what this number is. I can either find 15% of 24. Well, let's see, 5 goes into that 20 times, 5 goes into that 3 times, 4 goes into that 5 times, 4 goes into that 6 times. 3 by 6 is 18 over 5, which is 3.6. Okay, or, and then add that on, don't I? 24 plus 3.6 is equal to 27.6. Okay, or I can do 115% of 24. Okay, and work that out. Either of those will give me the same answer. 27.6 is my answer. Okay, in a sale, everything is reduced by 20%. Find the sale price of a hoodie, which costs €30 before the sale. So before the sale, I've got 100%, and that's 30. And then there's a reduction. So there's the sale, and then minus 20%. And then you've got the sale price, which is after. So that's going to be 80%. So two ways again, I can either find 20% of 30, which is 6, and subtract, which is €24 for the sale price, or I can find 80% of 30. And that'll be my price, €24. Maya goes out for a meal with her family. At the end of the meal, the bill is €80. So that's my 100%, plus a service charge of 15%. So altogether, the bill is going to cost 115%. This is the charge, and this is the new total. So again, I can either find 15% of 80 and add it on. 0.005 goes into that twice, 5 goes into that 3 times, 2 goes into that once, 2 goes into that 4 times. So €12. 3 times 4 is 12. €12. Or just do it on your calculator if you're stuck. So 15 over 100 times 80 is €12. And then 80 plus 12 is €92. So the total is 92. Or you can find 115% of 80, which is 92. Okay, I hope that's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.